Another example that we have in neurology, which is a big issue we run into commonly, is something called video EEG monitoring or electroencephalographic monitoring. So basically people come in with events that may or may not be seizures. They may or may not wake up. And if they're not waking up, it's very hard to say, are they still having silent seizures in the background, or are they in a phase that's called a post-ictal phase, which just means their brain is sort of resetting after the initial seizure. That completely changes care, because if they're post-ictal, they don't need anything else oftentimes. You might start them on seizure medication, but there's nothing really to worry about. That's a normal part of a big seizure. But if they're still having silent seizures, they're in a dangerous place. They could be in something called status epilepticus, even non-convulsive. So they're not having any convulsions, but they're still seizing, and that's dangerous for the brain. In those situations, you really want to diagnose and treat. And so the treatment is primarily IV anti-seizure drugs. And so in those situations, what ends up happening oftentimes is folks get transferred to these big epilepsy monitoring units in the United States to put them on continuous EEG monitoring, which is basically putting the electrodes on the head and keeping it on for 12 hours or 24 hours or as long as necessary.
All right, so based on the totality of my understanding, long format conversation is preferable to develop a deep understanding of a topic, and I would suggest that you listen to the full-length conversation to get an in-depth exploration of this topic by clicking on the profile and then navigating to the episode in question.